This is going to be the Twin of Me podcast. I am also one of the same person who did not know what to do next in my career. There are a lot of podcasts already. Why Antara of Success? People, including myself, do not realize how important is it to learn life skills. So basically, this is the only agenda I have with this podcast. No, you have already got featured in Times Square, New York, Josh Talks, Times of India, Free Press Journal, and where not. How did you actually got featured there? I feel like success is a journey, and this is how you actually get success. Shraddha, you have built your digital business in 8 countries without paid ads. I'm really curious to know how did you manage it all. One thing is definitely my LinkedIn. It helped me to reach 7 countries. 1 country I touched because of my Instagram. I really want to know, you're seen as a boss woman. People look at you very differently. What one truth you are now ready to say that loudly, what you once avoided? I have now stopped pleasing people. If somebody wants to be like you, have a really good presence on LinkedIn and want to have this digital marketing thing and known as a top voice like you, what is the roadmap and what advice you would like to give to them? And divide your content in a ratio. Honestly, एक महीने में भी leads आ जाते हैं. Like in Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna said, that you perform your duties, not chase results. Antara of Success, the other side of success in verses we were never taught. A podcast that honors the human behind every win and every bound. And today we have a guest who is self-made, who is a Josh Talk speaker and someone who is a first generation entrepreneur, who has influenced more than 1 lakh of people and helped them to achieve in their lives. So she is a true leader. She has also been featured by Times of India and in fact the world's largest billboard, Times New York. Today, she is going to talk about everything, how she started and how the journey has been with her. But not just that, how success feels like and what life skills she had to learn, unlearn and relearn. So let's hear from her what has been her journey, and she is none other than Shraddha. Yes, this is going to be the Twin of Me podcast where I am going to actually ask the questions what you must be aware of that can totally help you to literally grow ahead in your career, in your life, and to be the best version of you. So let's hear story of Shraddha Shrivastava. Hi Shraddha. Actually, the twin Shraddha. Welcome to Antara of Success. Thank you, Shraddha, for inviting me, the twin of Shraddha actually, and I'm loving it. Today, before I ask you about your journey, LinkedIn and digital marketing, I really want to know from you, how did you get started? How did you landed in this industry? And how were you able to literally choose your path of your career? So Shraddha, before I tell you that what I was doing before, I want to state this particular thing that I am also one of the same person who did not know what to do next in my career. When I passed my 12th, I wanted to take maths and I couldn't somehow. But then, my age got increasing, career went up. I had no clarity what I was actually trying to do. I wanted to be successful, but I had no roadmap, nobody to actually tell me what I should do. And I had jobs before creating my Digital Height, my company. I have had 4 years of experience in this corporate world and I literally loved that everything. I started from HR industry, landed to the digital marketing finally, and this is what I love, and I have been doing this for more than 10 years. So yeah, this is what I have done. And one thing I really want to share with every single people who is watching right now, that in life you never know what you want to do. Hence, if you literally give your 100%, whatever you are doing is the best. Fair enough. Okay, so Shraddha, because there are a lot of podcasts already, why Antara of Success? And why are you starting just another podcast? Why you are actually thinking that it is necessary to step in this podcast world, because you already manage a lot of businesses, a lot of things. Why this podcast? Okay, so starting this podcast has a very clear vision and a mission to give this message in this entire world that, self care, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, creative intelligence, everything is very necessary and important. People, including myself, do not realize how important is it to learn life skills. We go to school, but school never taught us what we had to actually learn. Like, you go to school, you learn maths, physics, chemistry, everything. But when the teachers are actually telling you to learn what you should eat, how much protein you should intake, and school never taught you to, tell you that how you should react when you meet the failure. So this is very necessary. Starting Antra of Success has a very clear vision to tell people what school never taught, and something that will be really, really helpful for people to survive the success. This is my main motto of this podcast. And I have also one more very special thing about this podcast is that, everyone has a lot of things to inspire. And this is what I want to address. And I know there are so many good podcasts out there. Starting just one another, this is not my goal. Starting Antra of Success aims to actually cater everything that people literally missed, but they should learn to have a better life. So basically, this is the only agenda I have with this podcast. In fact, I also believe that, in this era, it's high time to prioritize what life skills you should learn, and emotional intelligence, self love, self care. These are some basic skills. In fact, the foods, like what type of food you are adding in your plate, the carbs, the protein, everything you must be aware of, which is something we never taught. Because now I am clear why you are starting this podcast. I really want to know. You have already got featured in Times Square, New York, Josh Talks, Times of India, Free Press Journal, and where not. How did you actually got featured there? Number one. Secondly, was that planned or it happened by product? And how do you actually manage to achieve it all? Honestly, no. And you cannot plan your success. This is what I have learned in my life. You can definitely plan things. How do you want to execute? And I have been this person only. I always, for example, I'm going to visit, let's say, Mumbai. I can plan my day already that this is what I want to do, this is where I will visit, and this meetings I'll do, and everything around it. But I can only plan my execution, my activity. But the moment when it is about results, I cannot plan result. In fact, nobody in this world can plan the result part. So, getting featured in Times Square, New York, and getting featured myself in Times of India, Financial Express, Free Press Journal, and many other platforms, it was a byproduct for sure. And I really want to clap myself for this, because this is all came because I gave my 100% to whatever I was doing. Starting from started exploring digital marketing till I have taught digital marketing to many people and training people to LinkedIn and advancing their businesses in global world. What I have understood is one thing, that you go on journey. I feel like success is a journey, and this is how you actually get success. When you are literally living that and giving your 100%. This is what my mantra is. And I really believe that if you're giving it your 100%, things will come to you. And it all came back. Especially the Josh Talk thing happened because I was the only one person in the entire country was talking about LinkedIn and giving this premium knowledge for free. Now people have started talking about LinkedIn. I'm glad about it. But I was the only one who started talking about it. This is why my Josh Talk named as, like, if you want to make money, land on LinkedIn and you learn everything around it. So yeah, I never planned it. Absolutely. Who literally think that you will see yourself on Times Square, the world's best billboard. I mean, the world's largest billboard. So did they came by product or it was something deeper? Yeah, it's a byproduct and deeper for sure because I remember myself when I got to know that I'm going to be I'm going to see myself on Times Square, New York. I was like, this is the dream that I never could actually see. You have a dream of going to New York, visiting the place, but you never have dream of showing yourself on Times Square, the world's largest billboard. So this is something I definitely never dreamed of. So it came by product, and it is deeper because everything I could do, because I influenced more than 50,000 of people. I helped them. I was able to not just be successful in my life, but helped many others to become successful. And this is how it happened to me. So yes, it is deeper, 100%. Shraddha, you have built your digital business in 8 countries without paid ads. I'm really curious to know, how did you manage it all? And how did you do that? And more importantly, what people take wrong about it. Like, how do you get yourself this much business and be successful? Okay, so you know what people think is, in this digital era, they think like anybody can become a business owner, anyone can have the digital marketing agency, since digital marketing is now people taking it very wrong also. I'll say 2 things on it. Number 1, yes, digital marketing is very easy. Number 2, it is easy only when you know the inside hacks and strategies and little bit of experience in this domain. I've seen people who are doing pretty well in this space only because of their hard work. They have literally done themselves. When you're doing something personally and when you are not doing personally. So I'll tell you one story. There was a time I was doing a job, so I went for an interview. When I was giving that interview to that particular agency owner, I realized that this agency owner didn't know anything, and his entire team was literally faking the time. So their team was almost 20 people were there in their team. There were 5 different people for every single domain, like creative, video editing, content writing, and everything. And every single day they were able to produce only 2-3 pieces of new content. So I'm talking about the era when AI wasn't arrived. And that time I could see myself that if I am here with my 5 people of team, can lead more than 10 clients at a time, and these are 20 people of team, and they are not even able to cater 5 clients that too properly. I literally got to know that in this world, in this digital marketing industry, people should also have the clarity of what's going on, how things are done, and how you can get this done from people. So this is definitely important. And if somebody wants to expand their business, since I have expanded it to 8 countries, not because of I run ads, I never did that. So one thing is definitely my LinkedIn. It helped me to reach 7 countries. 1 country I touched because of my Instagram. So yeah, that's how it happened. And with that, Shraddha, we are close to our first segment of the podcast, and we have an activity where I want to ask you the advice you would like to give, but people never follow. Okay, so I want to give this just one advice. Okay, so this is going to be very basic. Just enjoy whatever you do. I know a lot of people are doing job because they want to make money, and that's fair. I have also done that at a time. But when you are doing this, you don't feel happy inside, and the moment you're not happy inside, you won't share the love around you. And this is really important for you to actually realize that whatever you're doing today, it is affecting you somewhere. So if you're loving what you're doing every single day, in the evening when you go back to your home, you would love people around because you're happy. But if you're not enjoying that, you'll go to home and you'll be frustrated, like every single thing you look like, and you will always complain and do this. So this is what I think, that this is very basic and people ignore. You should only do things that you literally like. Or maybe I will say, because this is very popular quote, love what you do or do what you love. It's simple. Accept whatever it is, or just do what you want to do. Okay, with that, we are moving to the second segment of our podcast. It is about uncomfortable truths. I really want to know, you're seen as a boss woman, and you already have lots of friends who are into business and they are also boss women. I want to know, and what does it quietly cost behind the strength and success that you wear every single day? And how does that have been with your personal life, with you in your personal life? Boss women is a very positive word, but it is perceived slightly different. I'll tell you one thing, okay? So, being a boss woman is not that easy. I'll tell you from my story. Past 2 years have been very difficult for me, and when you're a boss woman, people people look at you very differently, because you are an independent woman. You want to keep things very unique as per you. You want to actually keep your finance private, take your own decisions, and this is something society does not love. And in my life, I'm telling you this because I have literally gone through. People are not comfortable with boss women. They're not actually that welcoming because they feel like how this women can take these many decisions. This is happening in rural areas till today, and I have faced it, so I have to say this loudly. And I know a lot of people who have literally amazing people around, good families that they support. So definitely two type of people everywhere. So yeah, but I love to see other women because they inspire me. I can take any name. The guest I'm gonna invite on this podcast, the women I literally see, and they are one of my role models as well, because every woman who is able to achieve something has taken her a lot. Because it's always perceived for a men to be good at work because it is obvious, but it is not obvious for a woman to do that. And here I'm not definitely putting the comparison between male and female, but I'm saying that very clearly because this is what I've faced in my life, so I have to speak what I've literally gone through. So yeah, this is something I literally say that loud. And if I ask you, what part of your story you have healed from, but people admire, and something that nobody clapped for you, but you clap for yourself because you know that you have done this. What has that been for you? Okay, so you do a lot of things in your daily life every single day. You do things, you execute things, and you're able to do them successfully. People clap for it. For example, if I'm cooking food, or I'm onboarding a client, I'm going to take the both examples. If my food is tasty, who will clap? Like, it is normal, you cooked food. And if I'm able to convert that client, and that client pays, nobody actually clap. I clap for myself, like, yeah, I did finally. So definitely. And one major point I would like to address here is that people are definitely never going to be happy and clap for you every single time. Hence, you have to be your best friend and cheer up yourself that, okay, you did it. So this is what I do, whenever I close a client, or whenever something I do that I expect myself to do and I'm able to accomplish that, I literally give some gift to myself. For example, if one client converted and I knew that cracking that client wasn't that easy, so I make sure that I give some treat to myself. Either I'll buy something for me, or anything. I just do this for myself. And if I ask you, what one truth you are now ready to say that loudly, what you once avoided? I have now stopped pleasing people. So people pleasing is a very common thing nowadays. And I have stopped that. Respecting, I do respect. Respecting is a different thing, and people pleasing is a different thing altogether. And now, because I have done that, because I've learned the lesson in life that when you always chase people and you do people pleasing, they feel very superior, which is fine, but they actually dominate you then. And this is the fact, this is the life. In past 2 years, I'll give this example because I have seen this firsthand, that when you are people pleasing, they start taking you granted. Hence, I've learned that stop people pleasing. It's all right to respect and maintain your boundary. And with that, Shraddha, we are moving to the second activity, of this podcast. It is called One Word, One Truth. So I'm going to give you one word, you speak one truth about it. It can be your personal perspective, lessons, learnings of yours. Time. Time changes every single time. Sometimes you love your life, sometimes you don't, but it does changes. That's the truth. Struggle. Struggle is part of everyone's life. Even if we think that this person's life looks very easy, they have got their own set of challenges. Self-care. Okay, because I have negotiated self-care with myself like in my teenage and my 20s, now I recently turned 30. I've learned this one single thing, that self-care is vital and non-negotiable. Failure. You fail every single day, you know. If you are doing something and something you couldn't execute, for example, I was not able to convert that particular client, it is a part of failure. So I think failure is part of life. Win. Okay, so win is also part of life. I want to say that because if I'm able to convert a client, if I'm able to make one script and it is generating many million views for my clients and for me, I am able to execute this in a very confident manner and productively. This is win. So win happens every single day. Give up. It's all right to give up. And sometimes it may be necessary to give up, or you may treat give up like having a pause and then taking a decision whether you want to whether you want to give up or not. Smart work. Smart work cannot be replaced by hard work, period. What about rejection? Rejection is part of anybody's success because, you know, when you're going through, when you're trying to achieve something, you'll face a lot of rejections, and that is the part of life. Health. Health is vital, and many actually ignore that firsthand, but health is important. Taking seriously is very, very important. Finally, emotions. Learn emotional intelligence. This is something that I have learned now, very late, but okay. Emotional intelligence is very important, you know, and nobody can actually ignore this. If you don't have that emotional quotient with you, you're going to definitely face many challenges, and then you will feel like, oh my god, this keeps happening with me, because you're missing that EQ. And with that, Shraddha, we are getting started with this third segment of our podcast, which is about survival setting. And I want to talk about, because your past 2-3 years have been really difficult. I want to have you to have that pause and let me know the unraveling, the restart that you did of your business, and what did it take you to restart your business, and how does that happen, and what has been your personal journey and how did you survive it? Okay, so I have recently restarted my business because in past time I got married and things changed. You know, when you're living a life before marriage, it's very easy. You wake up, you have breakfast, you have lunch, so your life is very smooth. So I used to wake up for my business, for my work, but the moment everything changed, and it had to actually take a pause because I couldn't handle it all, and that's all right. Now I understand that. So, you know, while restarting my business, it took me a lot. You know, I used to think that it will be very easy, but when you're restarting something, it becomes even more challenging because the market is new. The moment you're entering to this digital marketing, personal branding, now there are so many people who are doing super well, and you have now to rebuild your existence to tell that digital height exists, and we help people, and we have helped 8 different countries people. Now again I am back. I've already onboarded 3 clients from different countries, and this is how it is going. Definitely it has been hard, and you know, when you are trying to go global with any kind of business in B2B sector, I'll say one thing, that in B2B sector, credibility and authenticity plays a vital role. But I want to just make sure that, you know, credibility and authenticity, these are the 2 words are very popular, still taken wrong. So authenticity is when people are able to share stories that is really very raw and authentic, like they are not trying to be perfect on social media. Then credibility is something that you have no control, but you can position yourself and your brand in such a way that literally drives you the credibility. Because I remember when I got featured in Times of India, that enhanced my credibility. I remember getting myself mentioned, my name mentioned by LinkedIn News India as well. So this helps in credibility, and credibility only comes when you have authenticity. Ever happened with you when success felt very lonely for you, and what version of you had to die to get your this new version? So I have been a person who used to chase validation, and I've learned this hard way that you whatever whatever I used to achieve, whatever the awards I used to get, I used to go to people and say like, okay, I got this. Now I was waiting for them to actually validate and praise on it. I have learned it now that not everyone will be happy with your success, including your people who live with you. Okay, so you have to be comfortable with this fact that not everyone will be happy with your success, and that is okay. You have to be happy with yourself. I remember one day I was getting an award, and I wanted someone to actually be there, but that person didn't come. And that day I realized that I got an award. Everybody was happy, and I should be happy, but I was sad at that day. That time I literally taught myself that no, I achieved something, and I'm not happy because that person isn't happy with my success. So you know what? Everything that I'm able to do and execute today is something that I've learned hard way. That no, if nobody is happy, I need to change this version of myself, that not everyone is comfortable with your success, and that's okay for me. Okay, Shraddha, now if somebody wants to be like you, have a really good presence on LinkedIn, and want to have this digital marketing thing and known as a top voice like you, what is the roadmap and what advice you would like to give to them? Okay, so starting with LinkedIn, if somebody wants to build their brand on LinkedIn, number one thing they have to do is figure out their niche, like what they want to achieve from LinkedIn. For example, I'm taking, if you are a video editor, okay, so you can start building your personal brand. Now to do that, what you will do, you will be talking about everything. Now when I say niche down, it doesn't mean that you'll always talk about video editing. No, because this era has changed. Usually before, what used to happen, you have to figure out one niche and you need to stick to that. But now the world has changed. You have to pick your niche and divide your content in a ratio. So 50% will be your video editing content, 30% will be the industry related content. So video editing lies in digital marketing, online visibility, content marketing. So you will talk about it, and then rest 20% is going to be about your case studies and your personal journey into it. This is how you actually segment your content. And then if you want to have solid brand on LinkedIn, you need to make sure that you're sticking to your plan. For example, you want to post every single day, just make sure 3 posts every single week on LinkedIn, same time, same days. Go ahead for 3 months and you will see that inbound leads are coming to you. In fact, honestly, 1 महीने में भी leads आ जाते हैं. So the fact is, if you are consistent and if your content is good, and please try to avoid AI content copy pasting, because that literally don't work when you want to build your credibility and authenticity. No, it doesn't help at all. Now, if somebody wants to build a digital marketing agency, in digital marketing now, the personalization has been very important. So learning digital marketing as a whole is vital, because if you know everything, in digital marketing, everything is correlated. If you want to do content writing, you must know what type of content writing you are doing for which platform. For example, you're writing it for website, the agenda will be different, keyword targeting will be different, SEO would be different. You're doing it for LinkedIn, Instagram, X, anywhere. You have to be particular about it. Hence, I say that if you're going into this niche, in fact, for a personal branding expert as well, if they are coming not from digital marketing, they lack a lot of things. Because I myself is a digital marketer, it's been me over a decade now. What I have learned is, if I didn't know about the algorithm, I would not been able to build my LinkedIn for more than 150k followers now, and I won't have been able to achieve everything that I have done now. So this is very important. Okay, Shraddha, so this is the end of our third segment, and again, the activity time. Here, I want to know, what are the top 3 tools, 3 habits, and 3 mindset that you believe in have helped you, and you think that have helped you, so definitely people can also relate and will help them as well. Okay, because three tools, I'm just relating it to my niche, digital marketing. So, number one tool that I literally use is Google Docs and Google Sheets. That have been very helpful. Like people are using Notion and everywhere, other platforms. I don't really like that. I'm very basic. So, I like that because anytime if I want to make changes, my team is doing work. We can do that all together. So, Google Docs and here. Second, my favorite tool is pen and paper. Whenever I'm sitting to write anything, for example, planning the scripting part of reels and planning the questions, writing content for my post, for my LinkedIn, I write it down first in my pen and paper. And the third tool that I love using is I recently started using is called journaling. Now the tool I use for it is my phone and my notes. Although journaling is mostly about having a diary and pen doing that, but whatever is easy for me any day, I literally go for it. Now the three habits I would like to share. Number one habit is I make sure that I'm learning every single day, because in digital marketing, you're never enough. Every single day, there is an algorithm change happening to any platform. Hence, I make sure that I am having the habit of checking the newses. The second habit I have, and I want people to have, is that start prioritizing yourself. Self care, self love is very important. People might call you selfish for being self caring. Let it be. Third habit, now I have recently started that I make sure I have at least distance of 10 or maximum 30 minutes before my sleep to the digital screen. This is what I have recently started. It's hard, but I'm just getting started with this. Now the third one was three tools, three habits, three mindset. Okay, I am doing this because I want to do it. I mostly do not look for what results it is definitely going to bring. Okay, so it's like I want to build my personal brand. Now, when you're willing to build a personal brand, everybody wants to be either a top voice or have millions of followers. That's good. But when I started my LinkedIn, I never had this agenda that I will cross 1 lakh followers. So I am a person like I will do it and I'll enjoy this journey. Second mindset that have helped me to become successful is giving my best. As I told you, I always want to give my 100%. And when I say 100%, all I mean to say is I just give it all. And I don't stress myself like what it will bring. I just make sure that I'm doing right, I'm doing it accurately, and it is good to go. The third mindset that I again follow for me is putting my self-respect on top. Yes, it doesn't mean like disrespecting anybody, but self-respect above. Yeah. Like in Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna said, that you perform your duties, not chase results. So I get you. Okay, Shraddha. So we are moving forward to the fourth segment of our podcast, where we want to really talk about your younger self, and you have hit 1 lakh followers on LinkedIn last year. But this does not happen accidentally. I really want to know, how did you manage to hit that number? And if someone wants to hit 1 lakh followers, what are the steps that you would like to give them that they can follow? So if anybody wants to touch that 1 lakh followers on LinkedIn, okay, I'm going to give you what I have done for myself. Number one, share content on LinkedIn. Number two, make sure that you are consistently following people who are leader in your industry. You are commenting on others' posts, because it is very important. Before I started creating content, I was commenting on others' posts, because that's vital. Number three, people has to actually participate in conversation. When you're commenting, you have to make sure that you're adding some value. I have seen people copy pasting comments from ChatGPT, which is not right. It doesn't build brand. It doesn't bring credibility or authenticity. And the final thing one can do for achieving 1 lakh follower is that stay consistent, because I see now many people who claim that I achieved 1 lakh followers in 1 year. I can do that now for me, but for me it took me over 5 years to hit that 1 lakh followers. Now if somebody is now feeling and thinking that if I want to hit 1 lakh followers in 1 year, they can do that. The key is consistency and good content. This is how it is right now. And if I ask you, how has your relationship with your body and your parents have been? So you evolve every single day. And if I look back myself in 10 years back, for example, when I was doing my MBA, my lifestyle was different, my mindset was different, and what I have become now is a different person who is unapologetic for being the real me. And I have been this person now, and it took me a lot. If you want to achieve something in your life, you don't want to tell others you to what to do. Okay, and this has been my key as well. I have put that focus on myself that okay, I'll do this. So I'm glad that my family has been very supportive to me, hence I made those decisions, and so many decisions in my career have been very accurate. And this is what I have learned, is like, this is how you go ahead. So with my body, honestly, I'll say that in my teenage and in my 20s, I literally ignored my body, and this is the worst mistake I did. And I think many people should actually understand this, that body is where you live in. I have now learned it because I have faced a lot of health challenges also. So I'll say that having good body is very important, because when you are not able to move, when you are not able to actually speak, that time you feel lost, and that time you feel nobody can help you to walk. You have loved ones, but they cannot walk on your feet, right? So taking care of your body is very important. This is what I have learned, and now I am literally serious on this. Okay, Shraddha, finally, what is something that you are no longer chasing now? Okay, so what I'm not chasing, I used to chase perfection. So whenever I wanted to do something, taking example of podcast, okay, because I wanted to start my podcast very early, it's already late for me now. I wanted to have the perfect shoot, perfect everything should be perfect for me, and this is how I have been, because I have been a topper, I have been very good at everything, so this perfection mind have been with me. Now I am okay to be the way I am, the raw and unfiltered, literally. So this is what I have now started. Okay, Shraddha, so this is the time you need to write a letter to your younger self, and I really want you to write a letter thinking you're writing to someone who is younger you and wants to be like you. Here you go. Thank you, Shraddha. We're going to definitely put it right there on the screen. People can read it. It's handwritten by you. So thank you so much. And with that, I'm so glad that I had this idea of having the twin Shraddha. And this feels like a great start of the Antara of Success, because today, for the very first time, I think that Shraddha has talked about a lot more about life, not just about digital marketing and LinkedIn. And this is why, because the entire plan of this podcast is not just about, growing on your LinkedIn and on social media. It's about growing in your life, growing personally, and making yourself feel better and live better. So thank you so much, Shraddha, for this one. And we are going to rock on this podcast and rock in the world as well. It has been my pleasure to be here, and I'm glad that we made this twin idea because it was needed. It's the very first podcast episode, and what I wanted to actually share in this podcast, that this podcast is not going to be just about one particular thing, but every single aspect of life, and this is what we aim for. So let's go ahead, Shraddha.